this webinar, that it's focused on smart contracts, so how smart contract can make any transaction transparent and traceable. Just if I go, okay. So the idea of this webinar is in the first part to give you an overview about European initiatives focused on blockchain that can be very interesting for all the European SMEs and European actors. And the first one, it will be Blockstart, and the second one, BIAP, that will be presented by Roman Turminel. And the second part of this webinar, as I mentioned, will be focused on smart contracts. So the first part, we will have an overview about how a smart contract basically can make this transaction transparent, and it will be done by Jérôme Deroulez from the Cabinet Deroulez located in Paris. And the second part of the morning will be a pitch session from two companies that can give you an overview about how they can use blockchain. The first part will be with Droon, with Philippe Ogier, that will describe the use of smart contract, and the second will be done by GoodsID, that by Loÿs de La Soudière, that will explain more how blockchain solution can certify and verify the authenticity of any luxury item in the market. And of course, the last part of the morning will be dedicated to your question for all the speakers. So thank you for being with us this morning, and thank you for to all the speakers for being participating to this webinar. So maybe we can start just to give more space to our speaker with just a short overview about Blockstart. That, as I mentioned, is a Interreg Northwest Europe project, and that involves 8 project partners from 5 European countries. The project starts on January 2019 and will end on March 2023. And has a total budget of around 5 million euro. It's coordinated by Breadline Smart Service Campus that is located in Netherlands, and the project involves also 17 associated partners. So here you can see all the partners involved. So basically are located in Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, UK, and France for medicine. And the idea, it was not just put 5 European countries, but also bring together a blockchain expert from different domains. So here you can see a little bit all the associated partners of this project. That trying to cover 3 specific sectors, that is health, logistic, and agri-food. So what is our mission? Basically is to boost SMEs competitiveness by helping SMEs to use blockchain technology. And our idea is also to help companies to understand what will happen when they do that. So for more, a lot of companies don't know if blockchain is suitable for their product or their solution. So the idea is to create a first contact. So you can apply to our project and do a quick scan survey, and this way we will discuss with all the partners, all the experts, if blockchain makes sense for you. And if this is the case, basically you can receive some voucher scheme. The first one, it will be around 7,000 euro. And you can benefit from the first part, it will be a feasibility study. So you can benefit of a free feasibility study with the blockchain consultants and decide which training would be most suitable for your knowledge. So basically you have a wide range of options, and with this voucher you can benefit from different and complementary trainings. And the second part of the program allow you to benefit also by another voucher for testing your solution of 60K. So here, just for giving you an overview about the training that will be launched. So we have very general training like blockchain introduction, blockchain for business, but we have also specific training because the training are based on each participant needs. So you can choose between the 2-3 trainings that are more feasible for you. And they are very different also in terms of time. So you can spend 3 days, 4 hours per day, or just half a day and just to know more about what exactly is the blockchain. So in this case, you can visit our website, and there you can find more than 30 trainings that will be launched very soon. And what else we do? We try to also do an inventory of SMEs challenges and also map all the blockchain actors. I mean, we would like to develop a map where you can find all the activities, all the actors involved in the blockchain. For example, you can look for a partner that already use blockchain, or you can find some financial opportunities, some experts, some training, and also if you want to know more about the initiative launched by Germany about blockchain, you can also have this kind of filter. So basically, just to start the presentation and give space to our speaker, you can find more about the program on our website, and you can complete the application form. And this way, once your application will be reviewed and confirmed by the expert, we can start together with the feasibility study and know more about how, in which way we can support you. So thank you very much. And of course, if you have any question, the presentation will be shared, but you have also the contact details with the presentation. Thank you very much. So maybe when we can go to the next presentation, that's VIAB. And in this way, you can have another visibility on another project that can be very interesting for you. This is why, Roman, if you...
Yes, thank you, Daniela. I will share my screen now. Okay, I think this is it. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So thank you everyone for joining us today. This is Romain Turminel. I am European Project Manager for Medicen Paris Region. We are a cluster association based in Paris and focusing on digital technologies. And I'm going to talk to you about BHub for Europe. So the BHub for Europe project stands for Blockchain Hub for European Startups, Acceleration and Growth. So we are a project funded by the European Commission. We will, the project started in January 2020, and it will unfortunately end already at the end of this year. And our goal is to encourage blockchain startups growth, and especially to foster on how the blockchain technology can develop solutions in industry and public services. So we are operating under the mandate of Startup Europe, and the project is run by 5 leading accelerators and clusters. The coordinator of our project is Innova, based in Italy, and we are systematic the leading cluster for the French ecosystems. But we are also supported by other accelerator and clusters from Germany, Lithuania, and Romania. And what are we doing in the BHub project? I would say for starters, and what I think is the most interesting thing for you to know today, is that we are focusing on developing a startup acceleration program. And especially we will have 2 good examples here with us today with GoodsID and Droon, because they are both members of this acceleration program. So we launched 2 open calls, one in 2020 and one in 2021, to attract startups from all over Europe working in blockchain, and we selected the best of them here, and that's how we integrated 45 European startups in this acceleration program to support their go-to-market strategy. Especially, we have been working with them on a lot of things to help them to develop their activities with coaching in growth strategies, in sales, in IP protection, in access to public and private funding. And more generally, I would say that the goal of these activities is to help them to develop their business and their visibility at the European level. The second type of activity that we have been doing in the hub are training sessions that we have been conducted at in 2020 and the beginning of 2021. Really, the goal of really the goal of this project, of this training session, were to focus both on private and public representatives, and really to train them on how blockchain can be a solution for their activities, given respective use cases that we have been exploring, such as the University of Competencies, the cloud document tracing, the PGP energy training, or vaccine supply chains. And in total, we have been training more than 280 attendees from 225 organizations. One key activity that have been developed all along the project is a mapping of the startups. So this mapping is available on our website. You can find about information about the 45 startups that we have accelerated, but also on other startups that are in the ecosystems of the 5 partners of B-Hubs. And we have also worked on making a mapping of successfully implemented use cases. So if you are a startup or if you have a use case very interesting about blockchain, you can contact us to be mapped on this on our website and to be part of this mapping. The goal of this mapping was to make some state of the blockchain adoption in each ecosystem and to address recommendation for regulation at the European level. So we produced last year a blockchain report that is freely accessible on our website, which is dedicated to the European Commission to inform them about the findings of our project and how we would recommend to foster blockchain in Europe. And finally, the last type of activities that we have been conducting in the BIA project are matching labs. This is something that is still ongoing, and really the goal of this activity is to foster projects and partnerships between the 45 blockchain startups that have been supported in the BIA project and private and public organizations that are becoming more familiar with blockchain and its application. And really the goal is to develop use case, best practices, pilots on the integration of blockchain solutions into private and public organizations. How to get involved if you are an investor or private organization, representative, you can connect with the Blockchain Startups Accelerated in B-Hub. You can also reach out about your blockchain related projects. And of course, the project will end at the end of the year, but we will have a lot of events coming. So you can always look for information if you are interested in blockchain and in B-Hub in general. And this is it for me. So you can contact me on my address or follow us on social media. And now I will give the floor to Jérôme Deroulez from the Deroulez cabinet. Thank you, everyone. And I will have your question maybe at the end of the presentation if you have some. So I think I have to stop sharing, and then it will be good for you, Jérôme.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Romain, for this presentation. I think you had a question. I'm not sure. I thought I saw it, but maybe we can reply to all questions after the presentation. I'm very delighted to be there this morning and to have the opportunity to make this presentation, this introduction to smart contracts. My main goal is, I would say, to brainstorm this notion of smart contracts. I must say I haven't made any detailed presentation, but of course I will be available after this webinar if there were to be any more specific questions, or if you want to have some more detailed information. I will make some quotations, etc., to articles or reference. So of course I will be available in order to send you all information. I just want to say that I'm a lawyer at the Paris and Brussels bar. I'm specialized in data protection and information law and in new technologies, especially in the fields of blockchains and IoT. During this presentation, I will try to focus on what has been said by Daniela on this introduction to smart contracts. I will also try to, I would say that I will try to develop three different aspects. First of all, to point out a sort of definition of smart contracts and their legal aspects, and to assess if and how they may make any transaction transparent or traceable through different applications, and to focus on smart contracts in the field of else or else, which is a very interesting topic, and just to look at the way smart contracts may be used. And first of all, regarding the notion of smart contracts, because smart contracts today may be something like a buzzword, because it's something that we can find quite everywhere in a lot of documentation, not only legal documentation, but something that may be interesting a lot of people. And this notion is also something quite new. It may be said that the smart contracts have been created in 1994 by Nick Szabo, who was an American computer scientist, and he has defined smart contracts as computerized transactions protocols in order to execute terms of a contract. And he wanted to deal with extend the functionality of electronic transaction methods to the digital realm. Nick Szabo has also been talking about smart contracts as, I would say, contractual clause embedded into hardware and software in such a way that it could make breaches more difficult and more expensive. And it has given in 1994 several examples in order to show how smart contracts may be used, for example, for vending machine or devices for reprocessing automobile collateral. And for him, the main advantages of smart contracts were linked to the decrease of the cost of mediation, or to make arbitration or self-enforcement easier. And we would talk about that regarding, for example, data protection. And it was also a major shift when implementing smart contracts, was a major shift in order to go from paper to digital systems. So this is what we could say the history of the notion of smart contracts, and today there are a lot of other definitions, not legal definitions, but some achievements in order to focus on what could be or not a smart contract. And a common definition today is that a smart contract is an agreement whose execution is automated, and such automatic execution is often executed through a computer running code that has been translated from legal prose to something executable and to an executable program. Of course, when we are dealing with smart contracts, we are talking about something that has been automated in order to automate the execution of an agreement between some participants with an immediate and certain outcome without any intermediary involvement, of course, as we are in the field of blockchain, with I would say, some specificities related to the fact that we are in a public blockchain like the Bitcoin blockchain, or in the field of private blockchain. Today, the notion of smart contracts has been quite controversial. There's been some discussions, and I remember that Vitalik Buterin talked about that and said that he had some regrets regarding the fact that there's been much talk about smart contracts, because smart contracts are not contracts in themselves. And he said that regarding the notion of smart contract, we should talk about persistent scripts or stored procedures, in not to create something ambivalent or something that could be too confusing. And it's also something that should be taken into account. Regarding such, I would say the legal discussions about smart contracts, there has been huge work, and especially in the US, regarding how to define them, how to define their legal effects, how to create a sort of legal regime for smart contracts. And there's been huge work achieved by Thibaut Schrepel, who's written many articles and also some articles talking about the inevitability of smart contracts, which is one of their effects, and the way that smart contracts may have huge effects on the transformation of transactions in a very near future. Of course, regarding smart contracts, there are still some, I would say, huge legal discussions about the formation of such smart contracts or their performance of possible modifications, and especially regarding their enforcement, an issue of breach or remedies, all aspects which are linked to contractual law with possible conflicts with the inner characteristic of smart contracts. But I would like to, and regarding this webinar, I would like to point out a specific point, and point that has been underlined by Max Raskin, who has much written about the law and legality of smart contracts, and especially for the Georgetown Law Technology Review. And what was interesting in his work was that he said that the specificity of and the novel aspects of smart contracts was that they relies on a decentralized network, on a blockchain, some data in order to assess the validity, and in order to rely them on what we could consider as a set of shared rules. And what was interesting in his definition of smart contracts and their specificity was that it deals with validity, with efficiency, and the implication of smart contracts, and the fact that when you have a smart contract performed on a decentralized blockchain, then you cannot override the smart contracts with any individual malicious or mistaken mode, unless in some very specific circumstances. But such implications are very important in order to understand them and to assess also all the consequences of smart contracts. And what was interesting in Max Raskin's work was that it underlined the way that smart contracts may make transactions transparent and trustable. They in a way, they are very efficient in order to ensure integrity, and especially in some specific field. I will talk about healthcare or medicine. So I wanted to underline those perspectives in order to show or to highlight the fact that there are huge discussions regarding legal perspectives of what we call smart contracts, but something that could be called differently. And as I said, it's quite a controversial point. And it's interesting to note that, for example, Vitalik Buterin has been talking about that, and also to try to figure out what could be the legal consequences, which are quite vast. One of the aspects of our webinar today is to deal with the transparency and traceability, and there are no doubts that smart contracts may help in order to make transactions transparent and traceable. And if I say that, it's just because when we are looking at the various applications of smart contracts, we can only be sure that smart contract may ensure transparency and traceability. I will just quote some specific examples, but regarding traceability, we have different applications, and for example, in the United States, regarding the drug supply chain, smart contracts have been used in order to ensure security, in order to help pharmaceutical companies in order to identify and to trace prescription drugs, so to prevent any acts of counterfeiting or use of harmful products. And it's very interesting that blockchain and smart contracts may have been used in order to make all the actors of supply chains work together. There are also other examples regarding financing or international transactions, when you have a huge diversity of actors with very few confidence with them, and problems of information asymmetry, etc. And then in order to bring complete mass of information and to avoid conflicts between all actors, and then you have also example of the use of smart contracts. Also more regarding cross-border trade, and as I said previously, also in order to prevent counterfeiting. There has been in the area of the security of physical assets, of course, there's been examples of the use of smart contracts, of developing smart contracts in order to provide trust and security. For example, in the trading of assets linked to digital books or music, in such aspects, smart contracts are used in order to prevent from counterfeiting activities, and in order to verify ownership, for example, or to handle payments. In such specific examples, you have smart contracts linked to a blockchain platform in order to help the different participants, and then in order to provide a secure access to all products. So I give these, I would say, those examples in order to underline that the use of smart contracts is closely linked to the necessity to ensure greater transparency and traceability, which were not possible before and without the use to such smart contracts. Something very interesting to note too regarding smart contracts and their development is the use of what we call crypto records in order to check and to, I would say, authenticate the use of external data, and especially when you have to use external data or authenticated data in order to validate a smart contract. Then more and more we have we can check that that kind of oracles are used in order to bring the blockchain data to the outside world, or to bring some data to a blockchain environment. Lastly, and regarding this introduction to smart contracts and to the use of smart contracts, I think it's interesting to note that there are a rising number of solutions using blockchain in the field of e-health or healthcare solutions, and with very innovative activities, and which are designing some new solutions or very interesting solutions. And I'd just like to talk about some of them. I'm thinking about all the electronic health records, and especially when you have electronic health record management, when you have to give patients control to their data, or to secure such health records management, then smart contracts are particularly useful, and especially while using zero knowledge proof of knowledge protocol. You have all the field of patient consent management, whether it be in the field of clinical trial or not, but the smart contracts may help in order to make information traceable, and in order to ensure a high level of security. More and more today, we have what we call the real world evidence studies, which are more and more efficient in the field of clinical trials, and in order to have a huge amount of data that may be used in order to make clinical trials or to study data, plus AI system, etc. And in such circumstances, you need to have to ensure a high level of data security, to avoid any misuse of data or misinterpretation, and of course to ensure the availability of data in a specific environment with a high amount of actors in international circumstances. So smart contracts may be used in order to assess such transparency and security. And so that kind of real world evidence studies is more and more linked to smart contracts. Of course, there are much interest of the clinical trials environment on smart contracts. There's been an example of the use of Ethereum blockchain in order to record synthetic data. It was in the UK, and smart contracts have been used in order to avoid data manipulation and to be sure that we may provide immutable and constant record of trial history. So I just wanted to talk about that kind of examples, because they clearly show that smart contracts may be very useful in order to perform more efficiently some I would say some specific tools that has been recently developed, like the real world evidence studies, and while ensuring greater security, greater transparency, and providing more larger and extended access for patients to their data, not only in the field of health or e-health, but also in broader fields. So I hope this introduction to smart contracts was clear enough in order just to brainstorm the notion, to explain what it is or what it may not be. Today we can only consider all the different applications linked to smart contracts and to their use. I think we're only at the very, very beginning. And I hope it's something that has been interesting for you. Now I'm very looking forward to know more about Droon and GoodsID. So I leave the floor to Philippe Ogier. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jérôme. Thank you for having set the scene around smart contracts. So I think now it's a good continuation, I will say, for being more specific about where and how we can deploy, and we actually deploy smart contracts in blockchains. So I will show you some slides to support my speech, and I will go through quite quickly. Okay. So first of all, I wanted to thank Systematic. We have been part of the first cohort in BHub 2 years ago, among the 45 selected startups in Europe, and we are proud of it. And it gave us a good opportunity to be exposed and to develop contacts and to have many very interesting projects ongoing. So what we are doing in Droon. In Droon, we are implementing actually blockchain in real use cases, and we use the main qualities and characteristics of blockchains, which has been reminded by Jérôme, which are on one side the integrity of the data, and so it makes for the first time it gives the possibility to have a trust into the data, the digital data which are used, but also with the addition of smart contracts, we have a trusted party in terms of algorithm and execution of transaction within the blockchain. So we capitalize on these two properties: data quality, trust, and automated integrity of algorithm to develop some very interesting solution. So just a reminder to repeat a bit what has been said by Jérôme somewhere. We see a clear evolution of blockchain. At the beginning of blockchain, we are talking about purely transactions. So we move some Bitcoin to one person to another person. And then we have extended, and this is what we exploit in Droon. We develop this notion of token to digital token, which can then be associated to anything. And I think GoodsID will illustrate the fact with luxury goods. And the next step is about using the smart contracts. Smart contracts are the activators of blockchain. They are the trusted party in a blockchain in manipulating the digital tokens, which give very powerful tools for collaboration in a safe environment, which is crucial currently. So what we develop ourselves in Droon, there are clearly solutions targeting cybersecurity and digital trust and collaboration. So we have a set of tools to develop quasi-automatically some smart contracts around tokens, etc. And we use this property you see on the slide, the traceability, which has been reminded, transparent. When you put a smart contract in a blockchain, in an ecosystem, it's transparent. Everyone knows exactly the rules, the governance, the contract which has been implemented, and can check that the rules are aligned with what it was expected. And above all, the integrity of a smart contract is crucial. So people can trust the blockchain because the rule which has been implemented in the blockchain can't be changed. And so we can really start and think about working in collaboration in a trusted environment. So technically, just to put the things very clear, the two mechanisms we use are creating tokens for everything, a digital object. So we talk about, for example, in the circular economy, we are creating tokens in the waste management process. We can do tokens around people, like Jérôme said, for the e-patient in the e-healthcare domain to consolidate the data around people, around the patient. And then we have the notion of smart contracts, which are not only agents, I would say, which are managing the evolution of the status of a digital token. This is the two fundamental principles we use in blockchain, especially in our application. And I will show you two very practical examples in the next slides. So just to think about our tools, we have a set of tools allowing to connect any IT OT, web services, etc., to blockchain. So we have invented what we call a blockchain-enabled bridge, which is a bridge, a clever connector between classical IT solutions and the complex world of blockchain. Complex because there are several possibilities, public blockchain, private blockchain, different technologies. It's evolving all the time. So we offer a solution which are stable for customers in terms of connection. They talk to us through APIs, and then we manage all the possibilities in blockchain and different smart contract technologies to run their solution. So it's really to reunite somewhere traditional IT and blockchain. So to be more pragmatic, we have developed a number of what we call functional modules, enlightening the different characteristics of blockchain, make them very pertinent, I would say, for the use of blockchain. We use some use case for where we need trust. We try to certify some assets, some product, some document. When we need trust, for example, voting platforms, we have an electronic voting platform ongoing currently, and we need trust in the digital data. We need trust in collaboration. Then we add a layer about cybersecurity, which is a paramount element of where blockchain can be supportive to current solutions. So we have also a cybersecurity solution for protecting personal data, e-patient medical information. We protect data against ransomware or data theft. We protect data for transmission, electronic transmission between one central server and embedded systems or mobile devices like cars or trains or even satellites. Then we have solution for proof, definitely, proof for traceability, proof for voting results, and also we emphasize the possibility of having very powerful collaboration system around complex contract management in the banking system, in financial systems, etc. For example, we have a public platform we manage, which is for the French Agency for Radio Frequencies. And so we have a public platform which is allocating the radio frequencies to the people who want to book or to use some specific frequencies. And this creates an official register. So to be more specific now, I will show you two examples. What we have done, and these two use cases are actually running. They are operated by your customers. The first one, we have called it Ransom Data Protect. In fact, it's a tool based on blockchain, which is able to protect confidential data, protect personal data, financial data, commercial data, etc. And the trick is that we use the capacity of the smart contracts in blockchain to have a high level of integrity. You can't modify them, but above all, we don't have the possibility technically to see what they are doing. So when we implement them, they are transparent in terms of algorithm, but then somebody which is external to the system can't understand how it works. So we use blockchain algorithm, in fact, to take some data which are within Excel file, Word files, or even PDF files, and we replace every confidential information which is indicated by the customer by an alias. So it's very powerful because at the end you can erase or forget the initial, the original document, and you work with a document which is a mix of visible information. So you can still pursue your work, distribute this document within your teams, with partners or external companies. But actually, the confidential information is hidden behind this alias. And the trick is that, in fact, the blockchain has secret algorithm, which the blockchain applies this information. And the blockchain only knows how they have scrambled or modified or created the alias. Even us, we are not able to see what the blockchain is doing once we have implemented the algorithm into our blockchain. So it's a very high level of protection. So you see, for example, we can apply that on doc, Word files. We put a specific format on the word we want to hide, and then the blockchain will replace this word by aliases, and then you can work with that, and it's a reversible process. So you see here, we don't talk about traceability, or it's a really a use case. Emphasizing using the capacity of a smart contract to be very robust to attacks. So this is a cybersecurity solution. So the second example I can show, we use also our technology for organizing voting systems, so electronic voting. So here again, we have implemented into a blockchain complex algorithm with a part of the ZKP, zero knowledge proof properties, which mean when the people who are voting, the blockchain is considering their vote, but not only storing it. So we implement some complex calculation where at the end, the blockchain is able to bring the result without having to open the blockchain and to do the counting, etc., which is a weakness in the process. Here, it's a completely sealed system, non-transparent, transparent in the voting process, transparent in the fact that each people can verify that its vote has been taken into account in the final result by some ZKP processes. But at the end, everything is hidden, and the blockchain is completely used as a trusted third party. So it's very powerful, and we are currently developing also this solution, which has been applied in some real concrete cases recently. So that's it to be practical, to show a bit some in which extent we can use smart contracts. And as we say, we have numerous cases. We could speak for hours about the different subjects we are concerning now in this domain. So thank you for your listening.
Thank you, Philippe. And now we will have Loÿs de La Soudière to present GoodsID.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Philippe, for your presentation, and congrats for Droon, which is a very powerful solutions. I'm very happy to be here. I'm Loïs. I'm the co-founder and CEO of GoodsID. And I'm very happy to present you GoodsID, which is basically a security, transparency, and traceability blockchain-based solution dedicated to the luxury industry. I will not talk a lot about smart contract because we are not using smart contract. So I will deal with the second part of the themes of this webinar, which is transparency, traceability. Because at GoodsID, we are using blockchain very simply, I have to say, as a technology and not as an ecosystem, which is very good, basically. But we're using blockchain as a technology which allows to timestamp and certify data. So same as Philippe explained, blockchain is able to certify the integrity of the data. So GoodsID, we are data-centric solutions, and we use blockchain just as a technology. So what does it mean, security and traceability blockchain-based solution? So in a very concrete way, very basically, the GoodsID solution allows the luxury houses to issue a digital certificate and to register it in the blockchain. What does it mean to issue a digital certificate? It means the luxury houses will, thanks to our solutions, will register in the blockchain the key data related to a good, to a luxury product. The key data. That means the digital certificate is a set of data which has been issued first by the luxury industry. And as of today, for instance, if you buy a bag, you will receive a plastic card with the serial number written on it. If you buy a watch, you will receive a piece of paper, which is the authenticity certificate, which is very important because all the value of the goods relies on this paper or on this card. But the problem is that you can lose this paper, you can be stolen, there is counterfeiting. So all the value of your goods is on this paper, but there's a lot of problem with it. So we allow, instead of giving you a piece of paper, the luxury houses will transfer to you the digital certificate, which will be timestamped and certified in the blockchain. So it's really a matter of data. It's a bit like, I don't know, like a car registration card, carte grise in French. The GoodsID digital certificate is a bit like a carte grise, but which is dematerialized, securized in the blockchain, and dynamic. I will explain it later. But blockchain technology is absolutely key in this solution because it allows to securize the data. It's not on the web page. If it was just a digital certificate on the internet, you can act it, you can duplicate it, you can do what you want on digital things. So the blockchain technology allows to make this digital certificate fully securized, unduplicable, unhackable, immutable, etc. So this digital certificate is like a set of data, the key data of the product. This digital certificate is dynamic. It's dynamic. I mean, during all the life of the products, we can add additional data related to events linked to the products. I mean, a maintenance, a repairment, a warranty exercise, and an ownership transfer from owner A to owner B on an anonymous basis, of course, thanks to the blockchain. Everything is anonymous. I don't know the name of the people owning this digital certificate, but we can add additional data related to the goods. So this digital certificate will be dynamic and will be enriched during all the life of the products with events of the products. So this is very interesting for the luxury houses. And so it will be dynamic, and after we will include some services inside the digital certificate. I will explain later. So what are the benefits of this digital certificate? For you, if you buy, for the final users, if you buy a watch, a bag, or a jewelry, you will be able to secure your ownership, to secure you don't have any piece of paper you can steal, you have a digital certificate. You will be able, so you secure your item. You will be able to prove in one click your ownership to a third parties, but on an anonymous basis. You will don't know that Loïs is owner of a watch, but you will know that I am owner of the watch, okay, because I can prove you. I will show you a part of the certificate. And as the certificate is unique, it can be duplicated. If I'm able to show you the certificate, I'm the owner of the product. And I can show you in one click, I can prove you in one click the authenticity of the goods or the traceability, because all the transactions related to the goods have been registered in the blockchain. So in the digital certificate, you can see, oh, well, this watch has been manufactured in Switzerland, has been sold Place Vendôme in Paris, has been owned by the first owner, then the second one, etc. And you can see all the transactions on the blockchain. And we developed a solution for you to go in the blockchain and to check that the data registered in the blockchain are well the data which has been written by the luxury houses. So you're sure that it's a authentic and genuine product. And as final users, you can use the products which are included inside the certificate. For the luxury houses, well, it's a great solution, very powerful, because it's quasi-ultimate way solutions to fight against counterfeiting. Why? Because if I'm a counterfeiter, so I will create a fake bag, for instance, Chanel one, a fake one, but the copy is perfect with the numero inside, written inside the bag, and I will sell it to you. So you think it's a real, genuine Chanel bag, but as counterfeiter, I'm unable to transfer to you the digital certificate which has been issued by Chanel at the beginning of the story. So if tomorrow Chanel, I'm not working with Chanel so far, but I'm working on it. If tomorrow Chanel or Hermes said, as of today, I will sell you not only a bag, but a bag associated with the digital certificate. That means that all the new bags will be real. We put inside some trust, some brand in the bag, so there will be the real, genuine bags, and the other one. I don't know if it's fake or not, but it's not real. So it's a solution to fight against counterfeiting. What interests a lot the luxurious is a solution which allows them to follow the products during all the life. This solution, the digital certificate, will allow the luxurious to touch the successive owners of a good on an anonymous basis in order to send them some messages related to the goods I own, so to this watch, or to offer them some services. So it's very powerful because as of today, the luxurious knows quite well their first customer, not that well, as they said, because, for instance, 40% of the purchase are gifts. That means the first owner of the watch, of the bag, it's a gift, so the luxurious don't know the person. On the secondary market, of course, they don't know the owners. And so our solution will allow the luxurious to use the product, the watch, the bag, as a media to touch the successive owners on an anonymous basis and to offer them some services. So it's real new concept of PRM, product relationship management, and not necessarily CRM, customer relationship management. And the luxurious can offer some services inside, or what the blockchain can add a lot of value. First services, I just mentioned it. It's like a marketing campaign services. So it allows them to touch the successive owners of the goods, of the items on an anonymous basis. Just an example, I sold to you my watch. Maybe Rolex can send me a message because Rolex I don't know that I'm a seller, so I will get cash in order for me to come back to the website or to the stores. And the new owner, Rolex doesn't know him, but Rolex can send him a message through the digital certificate saying, well, welcome in our universe. You buy a real one. We can accompany, be with you, etc. And so it's a campaign, but marketing campaign, but dedicated to the goods I own. And another services is we put in place for the watch manufacturer, watch houses, solutions called the one-click guarantee. One-click guarantee is you can exercise your warranty in one click in the digital certificate. And then the blockchain adds a lot of value. Why? Because blockchain adds a lot of value when there are divergent interests, like between a buyer and a seller, because there's a problem of trust between someone we want to exercise the guarantee and the manufacturer. And as we timestamp and certify the data at the purchase in the stores, when you buy the watch, there is no conflict on warranty and there is no fraud of warranty. Everybody agreed on the data which has been secured in the blockchain. And the last services, and I will end my illustrations, is for one jewelry house in Paris. Tell me, Loïs, your digital certificate is extra. No paper anymore. It's modern, blockchain, secured. But my priority is not to fight against counterfeiting. Okay, I'm selling an engagement ring, so my priority is not to follow the product. I think the secondary market of the engagement ring is not very active. We trust in love, and we hope that there is no secondary market. But you wanted to offer very added value services to the first customer, and so we include in the digital certificate an insurance products against theft. So when I buy a Courbet ring, I buy a ring which is already insured, and the client is just a beneficiary. I don't know the name. It's the product which is insured. If I sell the product to another one, the insurance will follow the products, and the beneficiary will be the secondary owner, the second owner of the products. It's called embedded insurance. So insurance included in the product, and the blockchain adds a lot of value because it reduces a lot the fraud risks. I mean, if I declare stolen my bag, I will declare it in the blockchain. My digital certificate will become red in the blockchain, will become red. So I can't sell it again because I'm a reseller. I can go to jail if I sell a stolen object. And then to finish, in the process of indemnization, blockchain adds a lot of value in this insurance indemnization. Why? Because we don't need to make any expertise, because the expertise I've done before the event and has been written in the blockchain. The expertise is the indemnization will be the same new identical ring. So all the data has been registered before the sinister. Therefore, when I declare a sinister with the blockchain and the APIs, the indemnization process can be very, very fast, and it saves a lot of cost for the insurance. It's very easy for the customer, and so it's a very new way to insure products, and we're very proud of that. And so we have started to sell our digital certificate like 6-8 months ago. So we have clients using it today. So it's not like a science fiction, but it's a concrete example of using blockchain technology in the luxury industry in order to ensure transparency and traceability. Voilà. I leave you Romain, Yanis, or Romain.
Thank you, Loïs. So thank you everyone for your presentation. If we still have some time, if anyone in the audience wants to participate, wants to add some question. I noticed that we've had some questions during the presentation. So how do you manage the certificate when people sell their bag or watch? I think you already answered that question, Loïs, in your presentation. And also we had a question about where the blockchain solution has been deployed. I believe it was during my presentation. So in BHub, we've had 3 actually very good examples here with GoodsID and the deployment of the solutions for the luxury articles, and with Droon with the voting systems and the anonymization of personal data. I would say more generally with BHub, we've had many applications of the solutions. We've had examples of blockchain solution used in the supply chain for food stores. We've had applications of the blockchain in the energy sectors. Many of them are available on the BHub website. I don't know. Okay, if it's good. We have another question. Hello, I am interested in the garbage business. for professional or customers and created a process to track the products from factory to waste. Professionals can pay through a green local token. Customers can be rewarded to give back their old items. Is someone around the table interested? I think, Philippe, you mentioned the use of blockchain in the circular economy field.
Yeah,
maybe you have an answer for this?
Definitely, it's a good use case. So we can contact Jean-Yves Orcel. Definitely to create a token for every waste. So there are some initiatives at European level to create tokens for each and every manufacturing items for traceability, for recycling purpose. I think it's very ambitious. So we envisage to create it at least for the end of life of products, and follow the end of life of a product when it's considered as a waste and following different recycling filières. So yes, I'm interested also. So we can discuss.
We can put you in relation at the end of the webinar. Thank you, Philippe. Okay, Loïs, you answered. Maybe you wanted to add a few words also.
No, just wanted to make some precision. This is a good question. In fact, yes, in the digital certificate, if someone is interested by my bag or my Rolex, I have a call to action where I can show a view of my certificate to a third party, which can be a potential purchaser or an insurance or whatever. And so the third party will see all the history of the goods. And the third party, we can check all the transactions in the blockchain. So it will be sure that I'm the owner of the goods and the good is genuine. And then when the transaction is done, I've got a call to action to transfer my digital certificate. So I click on it, put the address email, and I transfer the digital certificate. When my purchaser will accept the transfer, then the digital certificate will disappear from my wallet and appear in his wallet. So it's the way it functions. It's exactly like a grey card for a car. When you sell a grey car, when you sell your car, you give the car registration card. The only difference is our digital certificate is fully anonymous. It's a preuve porteur, so it's anonymous. There is no personal data included on it.
Loïs, do we have any other question from the participants? Or maybe from our panelists, if you have had some question about the other panelist presentation, I don't know.
It's okay on my side.
No question, but it was very interesting to get your presentation.
We arrive at the end of this webinar. Thank you for people that stay, even if we are just a little bit late. Of course, all the presentation will be shared. The webinar was recorded, so you can also rewatch if you want. And thanks again to all the speakers for being with us this morning and all the participants, of course. And of course, we stay at your disposal for any further question. And if you have, you need more information regarding the two projects, Blockstart or Be Up, we are available with Roman to support you.
Yes, thank you, Daniela, and thank you everyone for participating.
Okay,
Thank you very much to everyone.
Bye. Have a good day.
Have a nice day, everyone.
Nice day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.